Good late afternoon, West Coast. Good evening, East Coast, and kind of in between, in the middle. Thank you, everybody. Whoever tunes in or who watches this program, you saw the title of the show tonight. We're gonna talk about room categories and misconceptions and different stuff. We always talk about some interesting things. Once again, I do want to reiterate what a concierge travel agent is. We are a concierge travel agent. We do everything for you. You don't have to worry about questions. You don't have to rely on Facebook chat or TripAdvisor to get information. And I've been doing this a long time where I know that most of that information is incorrect. We actually go to the resort so we can provide you. One of the things I want to talk about tonight is destination weddings. Why should you use KVS Travel for your destination wedding? Well, let's see. Destination wedding, very important. It's your wedding and you're going on a destination. Is that really worth risking everything and doing all that work online? I mean, just think about the ease of dealing with KVS Travel. Is you call us, we find the perfect resort for your situation, your budget, what your dreams are, what you're envisioning. Once we figure that out, we can help you, we book you and we can help you get settled in if you want to hold a room block to secure prices. But all you have to do then is send out your invitations on your destination wedding with our information, and they just call us. And you can just focus on your wedding plans and other things and your work. You do not have to be stuck answering questions and dealing with all the drama that comes with a destination wedding. We do it for you. We're with you the whole way. We coordinate the resort's wedding team, so you don't have to. Sometimes they can be very slow at getting back to people, and we can kind of tap them, push them forward into you, and get you to get their response and stuff quicker. We've been to these top resorts, so we know what to expect, and we know the whole situation. We can deliver a seamless, beautiful experience, and that is what you're looking for. You're not looking for drama on your wedding. You're looking for the most memorable day and experience of your life. I mean, that is a pretty big story. And if my eyes keep going this way and that way, I think the camera is on this side and I keep looking on the other side. So your guests can book through us, like I was saying, and here's the big one. With us, you get bonuses depending on your party size and where you go, but you can get extra added on events, upgrades, and here's the big one. Sometimes you get money back depending on how many people book in there. That's why it's important to keep everybody corralled into our agency, and so we can manage everything. Then there's no somebody. I mean, sometimes there's always one that has to book with somebody else or on their own, and then there's issues with them attending the wedding, and it screws up your numbers and the coordination. You got to really ask the people to keep it in there because it's helping you out, and then we take that bonus money you earn and we give it to you, and that's a good thing. All right, so that's destination weddings. It's a really big deal, and it's a lot of work. And when you have somebody like us to do the work for you, why wouldn't you do that? All right. My wife's over there. Amanda, say hello.
Hi.
Don't rock the table.
I'll try not to, sorry. Did I?
All right. I don't know. It's a sensitive situation. We're a very balanced situation here. It's really cutting edge technology. All right, so what are the talking points? We want to talk about the common misconceptions of room categories, because some people call me, and I know a lot of people out there that book. I see them at the resorts. They just book the cheapest room because they're like, we're not in a room a lot. What does the room matter? What's the room? I mean, a tropical view sounds beautiful, and do we really need club level? I mean, we don't need that. And then they get to the resort and they see that, well, they can't get into the restaurants.
The biggest one is ocean view versus ocean front.
Yeah, well, then there's partial ocean views.
People don't know there's ocean front.
But like a tropical view is not as beautiful as you think. It's usually a view of like a hedge. And then a lot of times they're facing the sides of the property where sometimes there's construction going on next door at a new resort or different things like that. And that is,
access road.
It's an access road going down the sides. And listen, that's why you use KVS Travel. I mean, you might think you got a great deal until you are frustrated the whole vacation. And then you think that's normal. It's not normal. With us, you should not have that. I mean, we're not God, but we do everything in our power to make your vacation, honeymoon, destination, wedding, whatever it is seamless as possible. So it's a big deal. So ocean view versus oceanfront, then there's partial ocean view. It's very hard to understand that, and that's different. Recently, we booked a swim out oceanfront, like a beachfront swim out. Paid really good money for this. We don't get anything for free, and the free rooms they want to give us, I don't want. I want certain rooms that I want to market to my clients, so I pay for this. And guess what? This thing had no beach or ocean views. There was all this, what do you call it, like flora and fauna blocking our view to the ocean. So we paid up all this money for, we could hear waves. We could hear things. And we're gonna give it to you straight. Like, that's not really worth it. So we're gonna ask you that, and then swim out ups, our swim up's private, some are, some aren't. What's the deal with swim ups? That's our specialty. I got really successful in this business by being the swim out guy with our videos. So that's my wheelhouse right there. Ground floor versus the middle and top floors, what's the advantages there? Requesting these rooms too. That's another thing that we get advantage of by visiting these places and having a successful clientele and being in business for over 13 years is that we meet these these resort managers, and we request room locations, and we request certain things, and we get our requests more than we don't. A lot more. I don't want to over brag that. I like to under brag, over deliver. But that's a big deal, like your location, your room. Because you're not just like barely in that room. You are waking up in that room, you are sleeping in that room, you're going and taking a nap possibly in that room, you're relaxing, getting changed in that room. It is so nice to go on vacation and sit out in your patio and have a view that you cannot get from home. That's one of the reasons you're there. If it's just about you going somewhere to the swimming pool, you can just go to somewhere in Florida if you don't care. But the views do matter, and sometimes the price difference is not huge. Now, if you go into the bigger suites, they can get pricier. So that would be that. The tricks in the room descriptions, a lot of marketing tricks too. A lot of marketing tricks and a lot of things. A lot of times these resorts will run these specials saying, like for families, kids are free, or 6-night free, or blah, blah, blah. Sometimes they're decent savings, and we'll be able to tell you that. Sometimes they're just to make you feel like there is, to motivate you into booking that vacation. So just give us a call, because the more a place is offering, sometimes the less that place can offer as far as quality. The bigger the sales sometimes mean that resort is not doing too well. So they're trying to fill those rooms up, and nothing's worse than going to the wrong resort. I've met people that came to me that booked the wrong resorts and actually left early and moved resorts. That's horrendous and costly. So that's a big thing, and once again, that's why our relationship with these resorts matter. Okay? So we want you to get the room you really want. If you can help it, don't wait till last minute. Try to book a little bit out. All right. What does TikTok get wrong about travel? I mean, where do we begin? First of all, these are a lot of young people are becoming instant travel. They're influencers, but they also are telling you that they're travel experts. And most of them have been to 1 or 2 resorts. That's not an expert. An expert has been to dozens and dozens, if not over 100 resorts. And that's us. Somebody has been doing it a long time. And it takes a long time. To this day, I'm still learning things about this business. You never stop learning. Every day I'm looking for new things. I'm learning new things. I'm getting emails about new things. You can never keep up with the evolving travel situation, because it's always changing. There's always new products. There's some resorts I loved 4 years ago that I won't book today. There's some resorts that have just lost their way with food and service, and people still go and fall in the trap of that, and that's what we do. We spend our money so you don't waste it, because not everybody out there can just go on 4 or 5 trips a year. Most people go on a trip a year, maybe a trip every other year. I would say would be average. We have some clients that do multiple trips a year, but it's very rare that somebody has the time and money for that, especially if you're under 50, 60 years old. You're still probably working. So the problem with influencers, another thing they push is like brand new resorts. They talk about these brand new resorts. Then they show you videos. Don't be fooled by that. Most of those videos are just produced and provided by the resorts themselves. They're just clipping them and putting them in their videos. They haven't been there. We don't book brand new resorts unless you insist on it, but we won't book it until it's actually open. That place has to be open for me to book it. Every now and then a client of mine that's been with me for a while knows the risk and they take that risk. But when I'm advising, we don't advise that.
We
In
don't
fact,
pre-sell.
yeah, we don't pre-sell a place because we know. For instance, we were supposed to go to a couple of new properties. One was in Aruba and another one in St. Lucia back in April. And both of them delayed their openings. I think they finally just got open, but they're still not going to be open 100%. They're still going to be finishing their. I've never been to a resort that just opened where they opened at 100%. They just don't do that. They want their money. They want to start getting their money. They've already had it pushed back because of construction delays or whatever else. You want to wait till a place is open about 6 months. I mean, almost minimum. You know, even after 6 months, someone are still trying to get it together. And you don't just have construction going on while you're there. You have them still trying to figure out food and service. And you know, you're there for 5 nights, 7, maybe you're really going to go for it and do 10 nights. That's over before you know it. You don't get that back. And if that experience is less than what you've imagined, that's not good for the memory. Amanda, anything else with that? But TikTokers don't seem to be, you know, they just want to be all, I mean, listen, it's great to be positive and and happy and, oh, it's amazing and it's wonderful. But that's just not being honest.
They're paid to advertise.
Yeah, some of them are paid influencers and some are just, they think that's the personality they want to give. I want to give honesty. I want to give truthfulness. You're going to get that from us. Not everything in this world is, rose petals and rainbows. Sometimes things are not what they seem, and we understand how hard you work for your money. I'm not trying to con you here for one booking. I want your business for life. I want you to trust us. They also are missing out on perks. You know, sometimes it's hard nowadays, but sometimes room upgrades. We get you early check-ins when available on VIP treatment. Who do you call when something goes wrong? You think TikTok's going to answer that phone and get you over to that influencer? They're not. There's no phone number to TikTok. And all the other companies, you might think you're just going to get that. I mean, even like, look at these people with these memberships at these big box stores. They have issues. There's nobody there helping them. The 800 number doesn't get answered, or somebody doesn't know how to help them. But we're here for you. Not only am I available unless I'm sleeping on a jet, but when I am sleeping or on a jet, we provide you with concierge phone number service to the companies that we work with. So you're going to have somebody available. All right. And then the truth about cheap deals. Now, my daughter told me to talk about this. Now, we do have minimums for people. Like, we don't do these deal of the day because, how cheap is a deal if your whole experience is horrible? How cheap is that? Like, let's say you got a trip for $1,000 a person and it was on the cheap deal of the day special, wherever that is. What happens when you get there and your room smells like mold?
Or you have 2 stops to get there.
Yeah, 2 stops and the flights, long layovers. What happens to the flight? Well, I mean, that's not, but when you get super cheap deals, you're looking at some of the lower end resorts. That means food is going to be,
Nobody wants to go to.
Yeah, if they were so popular and so good, they wouldn't have to give that cheap deal out. They would be filling rooms.
They're just trying to get any money that they can get.
But if that is important to you, that you need that cheap deal, we're probably not your people. I mean, because I want you to have a good experience so you think of me with a smile and a good memory. I don't want you having a bad experience. Years ago, we had a lady that she wanted to go on a trip. This is when we're early on our business. And, we just wanted the business, but I never have been dishonest. But she was telling me everything she was looking for. She literally wanted like a 4 seasons. My wife keeps hitting the table, so if that's rocking, blame Amanda, send her a message. Comment on the bottom, say, Amanda, stop at the table. No, but I want to hear your experience. If you ever had like a bad experience by saving some money. Now I'm hitting the table, that was me. Because I want to hear about that. But we had this lady, she wanted amazing food, oceanfront. She wanted the best beach. She wanted the most amazing room, and she wouldn't stop telling us all the stuff that she wanted. And then I said, your budget isn't, I can't do that for that budget. Well, sure, certainly you can find something from it. I said, okay, here's the best thing I can find you. I found her this place. I won't name it. I don't try to do that. It's still out there, by the way. And we sent her there and nonstop texting me about issues that I told her about. And I literally had to say to her, listen, you wanted to go to the Ritz, but you wanted to go on a Motel 6 budget. And I told you that like 100 times. And I hate that. I don't want that conversation again. I don't want to have an argument. I don't want to be debating with somebody. I just say these are our minimums. But even then, sometimes people want everything. So try to save up money. I think it's better to save money up and delay the trip a year and have a great experience. Do you agree, Amanda?
Mm-hmm.
Than to go, or even like go. I don't like this because I usually try to tell people to go longer. Even like go 5 nights to a better place than 7 nights.
And
Because
get
get what? Get what?
get sick or something.
Well, I'm gonna send you
know?
somewhere. Hopefully, you get sick.
No,
I mean,
yeah, we draw the line at places. Like, we'll just won't book it. He just says, no, I'm not booking it.
we have places we will not book. But I mean, I want to make you happy, but not at the cost of you not liking me in the future. So I will be honest with you. But I personally, I would go somewhere nicer for 5 nights and 7, just because I want that nice experience of 5 nights. So if you're ready for travel content from real experts, make sure you tune into our weekly show. And when you're ready to book your destination wedding, honeymoon, anniversary, you call KVS Travel. And I want to just make sure I go over everything. I've been running a little long here. I try to get closer, but my daughter gave me like some script and some things to talk about. That's Anna. She does our excursions in Disney and Universal. That's right. Anna does our Disney and Universal, same price as Disney and Universal, but nonstop service. Anna will line up everything for you, from is it worth it during the Genie and all the VIPs, and she'll line up your dining, and she lives in Florida, so she knows the products, and Disneyland. She knows Disneyland too in California. So let's see here. So that was a real story. I told you I caught that by accident, of a client that wanted something. But remember, it's not a deal if you spend the whole trip annoyed. How good is that deal if you're just annoyed the whole time? That is not a vacation. That's horrible. Come back from that. All right, so let's plan a dream trip together. I'm ready. Amanda, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
We love planning dream trips. So we want to thank you for tuning in this week. And when you are ready to have your trip booked right, and you're like, hey, I'm not risking this. I don't care if I can save $123. What is that if it goes sideways? And then I can't get any answers. And I'm not lying when I tell you that people actually book in these bad places and have the nerve to call me and ask me questions because they can't get any answers from them. I'm not lying about that. That is like, people do some really wild things like that. So when you're ready to have your vacation, anniversary, destination wedding, Disney, Universal, cruises, Hawaii, we can make a magical Hawaiian trip for you.
Norway.
Yeah, Europe, Norway, Switzerland, Italy, France, river cruises. These are the things that we are experts at. And remember, we do it all. We make sure you have transfers. Oops, I just banged the table again. Transfers. We make sure that you have we offer you travel insurance, real travel insurance, not trip credit, but like real travel insurance that will give you, if you have something that's documented and legitimate in the thing, it gives you cash back. So you can plan your trip another day, not be like trip credit expires. If you get that regular stuff, trip credit expires. That means you have to make your plans again within a certain amount of time or you lose the money. So subscribe to our YouTube channel, tune into our KVS Travel Live, and when you're ready to book with KVS Travel, look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.